Hi, I'm Bo Blackwell.
And I'm Molly Lane, and in this episode of Marketing in 5, we're going to talk to you about a common problem that many business owners have, that you may have, which is that you're spending too much time on the work that is giving you too little payoff.
If this sounds like something that you struggle with in your business, we want to introduce you to the Pareto principle, which is also commonly called the 80-20 rule. And it's going to help free up a lot of time for you to focus on what's really important in your business.
The Pareto principle was developed by an Italian economist in the early 1900s, and he observed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. He then took his studies to his own garden, where he actually observed that 20% of the pea pods produced 80% of the peas. This is now a commonly used principle across all different verticals, that 80% of the effects are produced by 20% of the causes, or as a result of 20% of the causes. And so this is really commonly used in business, and a great example of that in many businesses' case is that 20% of customers, 20% of your customers could be the result of 80% of your sales. Now this is really, really important because you can take this information and really focus your efforts. So you don't want to just be working smart. You want to be working smart on the right things. So you want to be focusing your energy, focusing your efforts on that 20% of your business, 20% that's really going to be giving you the 80% of the payoffs.
So the interesting thing about the Pareto principle is that it can apply both positively and negatively. So where Molly mentioned that 80% of your sales can come from 20% of your customers, you can also have 80% of your customer service requests or refund requests come from 20% of your customers. So, you can look at it and see how it applies to your business, both from a positive and a negative side. I also wanted to just give you an example of what we're talking about as it applied in a business that I used to work at. I worked at a company that sold computer memory, and we sold it for thousands of different models of computers. We ran these massive ad campaigns advertising memory for all these different types of computers. We spent tens of thousands of dollars a month. But when we went in and analyzed where the actual sales were coming from, we saw that it was actually a very small number of specific computer models that were generating the profitable sales. The sales that the advertising spend actually made sense and paid off. And we noticed that a bunch of other models, way more models of computers, were sucking up a lot of our money and not producing any results. So we basically just trimmed off all that ad spend that wasn't working and ended up becoming far more profitable and getting way more bang for our buck by getting rid of the 80% that wasn't working and keeping the 20% that was.
So now it's time to take action and apply the Pareto principle to your business. What you're going to want to do is do your research and make a list. Determine which 20% of your customers are responsible for 80% of your sales. Then focus your work and your marketing efforts and your customer service on this group. These are your valuable customers, and you don't want to lose them.
Now when you get the other 80% of your customers who aren't contributing to the majority of your profits, you're going to want to consider firing them or lowering sort of the level of attention that you pay to them. Even maybe consider recommending them to a competitor, ship them off to the competitor, and let them become their headache for a while.
And that's all for the Pareto principle, and we'll see you next time on Marketing in 5.